Hello chess friends and welcome to your of Chess channel and welcome to the day 2 of the Norway Chess Masters in 2023. We're following now the epic derby. We're following now the match between Magnus Carlsen and Wesley. So yesterday it was not a good day for Magnus. He lost his match against Fabiano Caruana with the black pieces. No shame in it, I think. Fabi is a great player. Fabi is in top shape, I think, in this super event. In my opinion, Fabi is now the top favorite to win the whole thing. Outplayed really Magnus Carlsen in a beautiful strategic way, so pay good attention to how Fabio will make, I think, a great impact in this beautiful chess event. So let's see now the game between Magnus Carlsen and Wesley. So the first game they played in the classical time format ended in a draw. Now they had to play the Armageddon game. Let's see now what happened. It was simply a poker battle here between Magnus and Wesley. So the game finished a couple minutes ago, so it was, in my opinion, really a spectacular game. So Magnus with the white pieces opened with the move e4. Wesley's response was e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5. The Rui Lopez, the Spanish game, is on the board. Knight to f6, the burden defense, and now after move d3, we have now this common plan of blacks, bishop to c5, normal development. Now many times you see the exchange variation here with the move bishop to take c6, after move d takes c6. So far you cannot take, of course, here the pawn on e5 because queen to d4 is going to happen. You are vulnerable here around the square f2. So that's why here first calcing. Now bishop to d6 by Wesley, bishop to g5 by Magnus, h6, king with the bishop, bishop to h4, and now queen to e7. And here slowly but surely Wesley is sort of announcing that he could actually castle even queenside. He has the bishop pair, he has the beautiful activity here of the light square bishop, and he's trying now to let the pawn roll here, especially because the potential g5 move could come, of course, with the tempo against the bishop, and then you're fast. Then you have a really great progress here on the king side. So that's why great idea here by Wesley, queen to e7, and then the preparation to play queenside castling. And Magnus sensed this idea and he rushed here a little bit, we have to say it. He played a tiny little inaccuracy which allows now here Wesley so to play in a more direct way, because Wesley would have played, I think, immediately the bishop to g4 move anyway, because as we said, he wanted to castle queenside. But now this move bishop to g4 comes even with their better idea, because now the knight is a little bit overloaded to the defense of the pawn on d4. The queen is also a little bit overloaded to the defense of d4. Now the positional threat is maybe bishop to f3, queen to f3, and then maybe pick up the pawn on d4. So Magnus rushed, I think, here with the breakthrough idea with the move d4, and caused himself many positional problems in the game. And of course, a top grandmaster like Wesley is punishing these ideas for sure. So here after move knight from b to d2 that Magnus Carlsen is playing now, here Wesley played a brilliant queenside castling, and there is now even the tension on the d file. So from this point on, Wesley is better here in the position. Here I think black is taking over in the position. So Magnus plays rook to e1, placing the rook where already the queen is. So we have really great tensions now in the center of the board. If something gets cleared, both of these queens are endangered. Many times this type of position happens, so you have to be careful after the trades of pawns in the center of the board. So now Wesley goes all in, g5. We have now the opposite side attack game. Both kings are on opposite sides. It's time to attack your opponent's king immediately. You don't lose time, of course. You don't lose precious tempi. So that's why g5, good move here by Wesley. Bishop to g3. We have knight to h5. Wesley continues the pressure. This is the way to go. c3. Magnus now finally fixes the center, and now after e takes d4, c takes d4, now bishop to b4, and that's exactly the position that you want to get when you play with the bishop pair. The position is suddenly open, the pawn structure is asymmetrical, we have really great attacking chances, and now Magnus plays a huge blunder in the position. He plays now the move queen to a4. This is really a poker move, because of course you are attacking the pawn on a7, but if you play now the game really correctly, then I think this is already even a lost game here. Why? Because Wesley of course sees now this potential tactics. He plays bishop to f3. We have knight to f3, bishop to e1. Now Magnus picks up now first the pawn on a7. If you retreat with the bishop, then knight to e5 is very dangerous, controlling the square d7, and then queen to a8 it leads even to a beautiful checkmate. You have to even sacrifice the queen for the knight here, so it's obviously game over here for black. So that's why after move queen to a7, first queen to b4. This move is very important, because after the check that you could get, then there is no potential queen takes b7. Good move here, by good really defensive move by Wesley. So we have here, after move queen to b4, rook to e1 by Magnus Carlsen, and now Wesley undermines the pressure here, simply trades off more pieces because he's saying, I'm up the exchange, and of course, this should be enough for me here. So h takes g3, and now comes maybe even the first really critical moment of the game. Here Wesley played his first mistake in the game. He played the move queen to b6, and he is really forcing the trade of queens, and many of us would do this. I think 99% of players would do this because you want to release the pressure simply in the game. You want to get rid of this annoying queen on a7, but this is not working. A better way to go was actually to play a wild idea, king to d7. I'm not sure how many of us would even consider this move. Look at this, king to d7. Then of course white is trying to open the center, but now comes the tricky part. We include the other rook into the game, and after move d takes c6, we pick up even the pawn with the king. This is the way to go. You can maybe get a check, but it doesn't matter. White doesn't have really great checks afterwards, and then we simply escape towards the king side, and the position is solved, I think, for black. This was the way to go. King to d7 would be, I think, the winning move here for black. But Wesley tried to spice up the game, try to somehow trade off the queens, get out of this mess, but Magnus is, of course, Magnus uses now this moment, plays now queen to a8, king to d7, and now maybe even a tiny little inaccuracy again by Magnus, queen to a4. I'm sorry if I'm showing this game a little bit more from mistakes, blunders point of view, but it's really important, I think, here to understand what's going on, because queen to a4 is, I think, again leading into a good game for black. If black again reacts correctly, a better way for Magnus would simply to be the move queen to a3. This move is not allowing here, of course, the king to escape on dartboard, and now we could include the knight into the game. We can even play d5, opening the center. It's a different story because after move queen to a4, now a good defensive resource here for black is the simple move queen to b5. When the queen is on a3, there is simply no further potential trades of queen, so this would be now a good choice for Wesley. So, but again, Wesley doesn't react correctly. He plays now the move f6. He is simply annoyed by this possibility of the potential move knight to e5, but now Magnus Carlsen, of course, opens the center with the move d5, and now Wesley makes the huge now mistake in the game, a king to c8, and from this point on, here Magnus is again taking over, because again Wesley should have gone for this trades of queens, queen to a6, the queen drops back, and now maybe you can play finally king to c8 and king to b8, and this will be a good position for black. But after move king to c8, immediately now Magnus lets the position explode. This rook is far away from the action. Now Magnus is using the knight, using the rook, using the queen. Rook to e3, rook to a3 is now the tactical goal here, to create a rook and queen battery on the a file, and with the support of the knight, I think this is a devastating position for black. Especially this is a fast time format. You don't have time, of course, to calculate everything. Wesley tried to escape here with the move king to b8. We have e takes f6. We have c takes d5. f7 by Magnus, queen to f6, and now knight to e5, controlling everything, and there's nothing so much that can be done against the rook to e3. Rook to a3 in the game, rook to f8 was played by Wesley. We have now rook to e3, and here from this point on, it's simply a one-way ticket. Rook to f7 was played by Wesley, so but now Magnus plays the correct move. Rook to a3 is the way to go, because you don't have time to play queen to f2. Then after king to h2, there's simply no good check anymore. You're just going to prolong the game, but there's nothing that can be done against queen to a8. So that's why after move rook to a3, Wesley creating some space, breathing spaces for the king. We have now the check, king to c7, rook to b3, attacking now the pawn on b7. We have a rook to b8, and now a rook to f3. This is the way to go. Look at this. We have now great tension here on the f file. In order to survive, I think you can have to even sacrifice the queen, but now after g takes f3 or knight to f3, still white is much better. After move rook to f3, here Wesley took, Magnus took now the rook, and here after a couple more moves, Wesley so resigned. There's nothing that can be done. You cannot control the b8 square. You just lose the battle here around the square, and as I said, in this particular position after move rook to f8, Wesley so resigned. So this was a poker game, I think. Magnus bluffed a little bit here with the move queen to a4 in the beginning. this is not working. It is dangerous, but Wesley could have defended this position, but this is simply different chess. It's a fast time format chess. In the classical time format game, I think Wesley played a solid game, released the pressure easily, managed to get the easy draw with the black pieces, but now the Armageddon, Magnus got away a little bit here with murder. So, okay, Magnus is back, we have to say. He lost his game yesterday, he won a game today. Still, he's in the game for sure, but Fabi is the one, I think. It seems to me that Fabi is now in top shape. He's playing simply beautiful, beautiful, sort of Karpov Nemtsov his chess. I really love his chess because he's playing sort of positionally really in a beautiful way. So we'll see also how Fabi continuing in this tournament. In my opinion, as I said, he's the top favorite to win the whole thing. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Interesting ideas of the Berlin defense for sure. If you want to see more games from this event, check out also our beautiful gameplay by Nodirbek Abdusatorov in the Blitz section. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what to say, chess is the best, of course.